Hi friends, Miss Kristi here, and I am so excited to be together again cooking in the kitchen. Today we are learning how to make a microwave lasagna bowl. This small meal uses 6 ingredients plus one that's optional, cooks in our microwave for just a few minutes, and we end up with one tasty bowl of lasagna for ourselves. We're gonna have fun making this together today, and I'm so glad you're here. Now, the first step to cooking and working in the kitchen is to wash our hands. While I wash my hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds, let's go over the ingredients and supplies that you'll need to gather to cook along today. The ingredients you'll need are 2 no-boil lasagna sheets, 2 string cheese, 3/4 cup of marinara sauce, 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese, 1/2 cup of cooked ground beef or sausage, which is optional, 1/4 teaspoon basil, and 1/4 teaspoon oregano. The supplies you'll need are a microwavable bowl, small mixing bowl, 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, 1/4 teaspoon, a spoon, a paper towel, and oven mitts for safety. Okay, great. Your hands are clean and my hands are clean. We've gathered our ingredients and supplies, so let's get started making our microwave lasagna bowl. This is just a great quick meal that we can learn to make for ourselves. We don't even need our oven. We can cook it right in the microwave. So the first thing we're gonna do is mix up our ricotta cheese and get our seasonings in there. So you'll wanna grab your small mixing bowl that we had in the supply list. So grab your small mixing bowl and put that right in front of you. Not the microwavable bowl, but the small mixing bowl, and then grab your 1/4 cup dry measuring cup. We're gonna use this a lot today, so we're gonna keep it near us, but you do need this to measure out our ricotta cheese. So I just have ricotta cheese here, and because I wanna keep most of this in the container, I'm just gonna put 1/2 cup into my bowl. That's all we need for this small bowl of lasagna. So I'm just gonna take my 1/4 cup. I'm using 1/4 cup because that's what we need in our layers, and it just makes it easier to have one measuring cup. So I'm actually gonna use 2 of these because we need 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese, and 1/4 plus 1/4 is 1/2 cup. So I'm gonna scoop out 1/2 cup of ricotta cheese. Doesn't have to be perfect, the best of your ability, and put it right into our small mixing bowl. So that was 1/4 cup, and this is our second 1/4 cup. Like I said, we're gonna use this quite a bit today, so keep that next to you. Any ricotta cheese you have left over, you can put that to the side. All we needed was 1/2 cup, so pop it back in your refrigerator and save it, because a lot of this we can save in containers and make another bowl a different day, because it's just this individual size. So that's also what I love about this recipe, is you can use the same ingredients a couple times in that week and have lasagna a few times for yourself. So we have 1/4 cup and 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese. So that's 1/2 cup, and now we're gonna add our basil and oregano. So you're going to want to grab your 1/4 teaspoon. It's the only little one like this that we're using today. And then grab your basil. We can do that one first. We're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of basil. It says 1/4 TSP. 1/4 teaspoon of basil. You can set your basil aside, and then we're gonna do the same one, the 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4, and we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. And this is just to help give it a little bit of the Italian flavor, season this up a bit. And I find it's easier than when we put it in here and mix it together than just sprinkling it on our lasagna. So you can go ahead and put your 1/4 teaspoon aside. We are done with that. And now grab just the spoon that we had in the supply list, and all we're gonna do is mix this together. We will start layering in just a second, but I wanted to get this mixed together so it's ready to go. So give it a mix until you see your seasonings throughout. And then you can just set this to the side. We're gonna use the spoon again too, so keep that near you. And now we're gonna just start assembling our lasagna bowl. I want to show you a couple things. So my microwave safe bowl happens to be a rectangle, which works nicely for our lasagna sheets. Not everybody has a rectangular small bowl like this, so you can use a regular bowl as long as it's safe to go in the microwave. And you're gonna grab, I wanna show you the lasagna sheets. So again, these are usually rectangular. These are the no boil ones. So these are ready to get cooked right away. There's no pre-steps needed. So that's an important part of your ingredient list is you get the no boil lasagna sheets. We just need 2. But if they don't happen to fit in your container nicely like mine do, because mine's a rectangle, you would just take your bowl and just break them to fit. So at the end of the day, this is just gonna be a layer of noodle, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So you could break this, make it fit inside your bowl, and just use that for your layer. So I wanted to show you that option. All right, but I'm gonna put these to the side for a second because we're actually gonna put some sauce on the bottom first. This helps that our lasagna does not stick to our bowl. So you're going to grab your marinara sauce. We have 3/4 cup of marinara sauce. We're gonna use 1/4 cup at a time, and we're gonna do 3 layers of sauce. So it's kind of just building on each other throughout this recipe. So I'm going to grab my 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, the same one that we just used for the ricotta cheese. We're gonna use this a lot. And I'm gonna measure out 1/4 cup of ricotta or marinara sauce onto the bottom of my dish. Keep your sauce by you. Everything we have that we're using today, we're gonna keep near us. And I'm just gonna take this mixing spoon or the spoon that we had and just spread this out on the bottom. A nice even layer so we can start building. So first we do the sauce. All right, now grab one of your no boil lasagna sheets and put it inside your microwave safe bowl. Like I said, if you need to break it to fit, no worries. Put that in. All right, the next step is our ricotta cheese. So we've got that all mixed up right here. So grab the ricotta cheese mixture that we just made, and you're gonna take the same 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, and we're gonna do 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese. So this is the same one, 1/4. We're gonna do 1/4 cup, and we're gonna put that right on top of our noodle. I'm gonna take my spoon and just spread this out. We basically do this twice, and then we put it in the microwave. And we have a personal little lasagna for ourselves. And you don't even have to use your oven. All right, so I'm spreading this out across my noodles the best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and now we can go ahead and put any optional cooked sausage or ground beef that you might want to add. So if you want to keep this vegetarian and you don't want any meat in it, or you don't happen to have any of that on hand, you can skip this step. I happen to have cooked ground beef. So I just had cooked it up. It was already in my fridge in a nice container, staying good. So if you happen to have this, then you can add this step. If you don't feel comfortable cooking the meat, you don't want meat in there, just skip this layer. Since I have cooked ground beef, it has to be cooked because we're only going to put it in our microwave. If you had raw beef or raw sausage, it's not gonna cook enough in the microwave. That's why it's important. If you use it, it needs to be cooked. So I'm gonna grab my same 1/4 cup. I'm going to take out 1/4 cup of this is ground beef that I have that's been cooked. And I'm just going to sprinkle this on top. Same thing with my spoon here. So we're using our spoon and our 1/4 cup throughout this recipe. Spread that out a little bit. And now we get to put the cheese on. So I'm going to grab my string cheese. We have 2 string cheese in our ingredient list, and we're gonna use 1 for each layer. So I'm taking my string cheese, and I'm just going to peel it and lay it across my meat. If you didn't use meat, you would lay it across your ricotta cheese. I like using string cheese because it's mozzarella, and I like mozzarella cheese. And this just makes it easier. I don't have to measure anything. I know that 1 string cheese is enough for this layer. And just try to peel it in small pieces. Doesn't have to be perfect. Try to want to get a little bit even so you have enough cheese to go across. And like the ends, I'll just kind of break in half and stick on the side. As long as you have cheese for the outside or for the top layer, you're great. All right, now we need to put some more sauce on before we repeat our layer. So basically we're going to grab your marinara sauce again and your 1/4 cup. And And we are going to measure out another 1/4 cup of sauce and put it right on top of this cheese. Grab my spoon, spread it out the best I can. Just be gentle. If you start smushing it too much, things are gonna start moving, and we wanna keep everything layered. All right, so I have my sauce, and now we just repeat these layers. So I'm gonna grab my second no boil lasagna sheet. We only had 2, so this is the second one. Put it right in your bowl on top of that sauce. We're gonna use the rest of this ricotta cheese. So I'm not actually gonna measure this. I know it's the 1/4 cup because we only had a 1/2 cup and we already used half of that. So the rest of your ricotta cheese, you can measure it if you like. It's a 1/4 cup, or just put the rest of it on this noodle. Because I know that's how much we need. It's the second 1/4 cup that's left in there. You can put your bowl to the side. We're done with that. So our ricotta cheese is on there. Spread it on your noodle. I like to try to cover my noodle because all of this sauce on the bottom and this cheese on the top has liquid in it. It's gonna help cook that noodle in the microwave. So that's why the order of these layers is important. We need some liquid in there to help cook these noodles so we don't have to put it in the oven. All right, keep your spoon by you. We're now going to add the optional cooked beef or sausage. So if you have this step, same thing. I'm gonna take 1/4 cup. That is our measurement for this bowl. And I'm gonna do 1/4 cup of meat, cooked ground beef on my ricotta cheese. If you don't have meat, you don't want meat, we're skipping this step. All right, taking my spoon, spreading that out a little bit. All right, and now we're gonna put this cheese on. So grab your second string cheese that we had 2 in the supply list. We've already used 1. This is my second one. So I'm going to, again, just take some strips, layer it on. If you don't have string cheese and you want to use shredded cheese, maybe you want to use an American cheese, you want to use a different flavor than mozzarella, it's your lasagna, and those are the choices that you can make for yourself when you cook in the kitchen. So if you did just use shredded cheese, you could try 1/4 cup. Sprinkle that on and see if it covers your noodles and your other ricotta cheese, and if it does, great. If you want to add a little bit more, or if you've tried to make this and you didn't think it was cheesy enough, next time just add a little bit more. Cooking is about trial and error and learning as you go. So that is my second string cheese. Now all I'm going to do is do the last layer of sauce. I want sauce to be on top to help seal that noodle and help cook it. So I'm going to grab my 1/4 cup dry measuring cup, the one we've been using, and I'm gonna take my last 1/4 cup of marinara, because we had 3/4 cup all together and we used 1/4 for each layer. So 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 3/4, and that should be all the marinara sauce that you need. All right, now you can put your dry measuring cup to the side. We are done using that, because now we're basically ready to get this in the microwave. So all I'm gonna do is take this spoon one more time, take this sauce that I put on top, and I'm going to spread it out. If you decide when you make this that maybe you want cheese on the very top, you can put a little bit more cheese. If you have leftover cheese and you wanna put them on top, go for it. I like sauce on the final layer because when I put my paper towel down, sometimes if there's cheese there, it might fall into a little bit and pull that cheese off. So I just like to have sauce as the final layer, but if you choose to have cheese on the very top, that is up to you. So now all you're going to do is grab your paper towel. Why do we have a paper towel? Because when this cooks in our microwave, that sauce is gonna start to splatter, so it helps to protect the inside of your microwave from getting really dirty. It also helps keep some of that heat in and cook these noodles. So we are gonna put this in our microwave for 8 minutes, which is why we have oven mitts to get it out of the microwave, because it's going to be a very hot bowl. So first of all, let's put this in our microwave, put it in for 8 minutes, and as soon as that timer goes off and your microwave turns off, we will talk about getting it out safely and letting it cool. But now we gotta let it cook in the microwave. Okay friends, this is exciting. The microwave just went off, so that has cooked in there for 8 minutes, and now we just need to carefully take it out and let it cool. So I'm going to set this on my cutting board because I can put hot things on this. If you need to put something on your countertop or your workspace to protect it, like an oven mitt or a pot holder, something to protect the counter, we need to take this out and let it cool for about 3 minutes. The bowl is going to be very hot, so I am going to put oven mitts on and carefully take this out, set it here, and let it cool for 3 minutes. And make sure you put your gloves on because it's going to be a hot bowl. Okay friends, so we have just let this cool on our countertop or our workspace for about 3 minutes. We're basically wanting to make sure that bowl is cool to touch so that when you pick it up to eat it, you don't burn yourself. All I'm gonna do is take off the paper towel. You can kind of see that there's a little bit of cheese on there, which is why I don't like the very top layer to have cheese. I want most of it to stay in there, and that sauce on top helps protect it a little bit. Again, just a reminder, we put this paper towel over it to protect our microwave, to keep some of that heat in. If you would have cooked it in the oven, usually you cover it with tin foil, but you can't put tin foil in the microwave, which is why we used a paper towel. So it's very important that we use a paper towel and not tin foil in the microwave. But you can throw that paper towel away. We are done with that. From here, you can just grab a fork, and like I'm poking mine, I can see that the noodles have cooked, which is exciting because we use those no boil noodles. But now here we have it. We just have this great small meal that we have made for ourselves. It only took those 6 main ingredients plus the meat if you chose to use it, popped it in our microwave for 8 minutes, and now, like I said, we have this great small meal that you can make for yourself anytime throughout the week that you have just a couple minutes to put it together. So I do hope you try and make it, or try and make it again, and when you do, let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you have any questions. You can even send me a picture of how your microwave lasagna bowl turned out. I would love to get to see your creation, and maybe we could share it next week. Speaking of next week, on next week's episode, which is episode 72, we are learning how to make a chili bowl. This small meal uses just 5 ingredients plus 1 that's optional, cooks in our microwave for just 3 minutes, so there's no stovetop needed, and we will make 1 tasty bowl of chili for ourselves. In order to cook along and make a chili bowl next week, these are the ingredients that you'll need to have in your kitchen to cook along. 1/4 cup of canned diced tomatoes, 1/4 cup of canned red kidney beans, 1/4 cup of canned northern white beans, 1/4 cup of salsa, 1/2 tablespoon of chili seasoning, and 1/2 tablespoon of shredded cheese, which is optional. Well friends, our time together today is almost over. I do hope you've enjoyed learning how to make this microwave lasagna bowl. I know I had fun, and I already can't wait to cook together again next time. But before you say goodbye to this episode, make sure to click subscribe if you haven't already. You just have to click the little picture of me in the corner. That way you don't miss next week's episode. It'll be out on Friday. And I'll see you then. Bye friends. It's time to eat.